Hey everyone, and welcome to this training. I'm super excited about that. Super excited about this incredible training in which we are going to talk about funnel evolution. So that's a title that I wanted to give because when I was there in the States and I was going through the different conferences and I was watching all the different videos and all the different speakers that were there, I just felt that. I felt like, wow, I always knew about membership, about webinars, about challenges. It's like I've done it, I've studied and stuff. But the way in which some people take it and go to the next level with that, it was incredible. And so I'm super excited to talk about this topic today. I see already someone of you joining. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Awesome. So we'll have more and more people joining below. Feel free to write also in Facebook. We'll be taking some question at the end. So feel free to drop your question while we talk. And even if you're watching this on a replay, no problem. We will answer all the questions that you guys are having. So super excited to go for this training. So if we can have the slides up, let's start talking about today. So funnel evolution. Awesome. So we start, for the one that know me, who am I? I'm Alessio. I have been working for 7 years in the online education industry, and I'm incredibly passionate about helping online course creators to go to the next level. And that's something that I absolutely want to do. I've been doing this for 5 years working in Man Valley, where I also was the chief marketing officer there, helping generating more than $100 million revenue. And then 2 years ago, I started my agency and I work with some of the biggest people in the market, like from Jordan Peterson to Marissa Peer, Donette May, Roger Hamilton, Terry Rio, some incredible summits that we've been doing, Shefali Sabari, like incredible people I've had the chance to work with, and I'm super proud of that. And right now, I'm trying to take all this knowledge and bring it up to you. In this specific, this session is the second session of a 4-session series in which I'm taking some of the learnings that I got in 2 conferences, which is Traffic and Conversion Summit and Funnel Hacking Live, and I'm putting it down. And the reason is that this is something that I wanted to create for my team because they were curious about what I learned in US. But at the same time, I wanted to also make sure that, hey, if I'm already doing it, why don't I just share it with the world? So it's free. There is no pitch. I'm not selling anything here. So guys, enjoy, get learnings. I really want every one of you to go to the next level here. And today we're going to learn about 3 things. The 7 levers to optimize webinars, how to create a community and monetize it with a challenge, and then 9 ways to launch your membership. These were 3 different sessions that I attended, and I love it. And I loved how every one of them went super deep and very tactical. So you will see that while the previous section was a lot more strategical on frameworks and stuff, this is incredibly tactical on little tips and tricks that you can go out of this session and apply in your business. If you already have a webinar, if you already have a challenge, if you already have a membership, and then simply say, oh, wow, I can do this and improve my conversion rate by 2%. That's all I want from you today. I want every one of you to learn as much as you can and really take this as a great opportunity to take your business to the next level. As always, these are not my learnings, are learnings from these incredible people. Anthony Morrison for the webinar, Pace Morby for the community management and challenge, and Stu McLaren for membership. So let's dive deep into it and let's go something interesting. We start with the 7 levers to optimize your webinars. So every one of you are somehow familiar with webinars. The way which I always like to explain it is that, it's a sort of a class in which you get to learn a bit more about what's a webinar or what's a product. But what I always like to say is that online education is not that different from traditional education. And if you think back about when you were in school, when you were a kid, and you think about what was your favorite subject, probably you'll think back about a teacher. And that teacher was also your favorite teacher. And guess what? It's not the case, right? It's we love who teaches things to us, right? And that's something that to me is incredibly important. We will never buy a course from someone if we don't like that someone. And I remember just once I bought something from someone that I was like, not sure if I should buy from it. And it was selling something a literally at $5 was a tripwire, and I was like, let's do it. And literally 5 seconds in the tripwire, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. Get me a refund. And the entire point is this: is like no matter the message, if we really hate the messenger, it's going to be very difficult for us to learn something. And webinars are great because it helps us understand if we like the messenger, if we like the way in which he teach, if he knows actually what he's talking about. Because, guys, it's full of fluff out there. And we want to make sure that whoever we learn from is the best person ever. So I like to say that a webinar is a way to try and run your class, your learning, and then say, okay, I learned enough in 1 hour, I did all this. Can I buy a 8-hour course from this person? Why not? So let's go deep into seeing what are the things that you can do different in a webinar and what are the little optimization that you can do that can bring the things to the next level. As I was saying before, I was in Man Valley, and one of my major things that I was doing was growing masterclass, and I literally scaled up the company from 25 to $75 million while I was there a year, all by masterclass, right? All by webinars. And what's interesting to me is I never heard of so many of these things. So let's go and see what are those levers that you can play around. First one, very simple one, 2-step registration. Most of all the webinar and most of all the webinar platform make you register by asking you name, email, the date of the webinar, and the time of the webinar in which you want to show up. They've been running tons of tests. Anthony Morrison. So let me say this. Anthony Morrison, besides being a great webinar expert, is also the owner of a platform. I'll talk about it later. So he's been running tests not just on his own webinar, but on everyone else that do webinar inside this platform. And what he saw is that having a 2-step registration is so much better than having a 1-step registration. So what does it mean? Whenever you have your form on your landing page for your webinar, always ask name and email first, and then ask date and time after. They've seen that there is a huge opportunity there because a lot of people don't want to fill in too many forms, but once they fill in already the first 2 and you ask them to fill in the others, they are much more likely to fill in the rest. And even if they don't, you still have their name and email, and you can send them an email to say, oh, you still didn't get this. By the way, if you want to watch the webinar, just click on this link and watch it. This has been huge for them. And I love this first trick because it's actually something that is seemingly very small. But what's exciting about this is that everything, it's part of a conversion of a webinar, even things before the webinar, like the landing page. The second one, a control thank you page. So the entire idea here is not every experience in a webinar should be the same. So as an example, there is sometimes you start promoting a webinar 7 days before, and maybe the person that signed up 7 days before should have an experience. But then if I see the webinar at 5:30 p.m. and the webinar is at 6 p.m., maybe my experience should be different, right? So what it recommends is to actually split the traffic based on when people are signing up. If people are signing up 45 minutes before the webinar, less than 45 minutes before the webinar, bring them directly to the webinar room. So they stay there, they don't leave, and they will actually learn from there. On the other hand, if they sign up a few days before or even 1 hour before, just send them to an offer them a product, because most likely they won't keep that page open and they will just join the webinar anyway through a link. And that's very important. If you offer them a product, normally in marketing words, this is named tripwire. This will allow you to make some revenue and get back some of the cost that maybe you've had by bringing the people to sign up for your webinar. So very important, 45 minutes before the webinar, focus on keeping the people there. 45 minutes if it's more than 45 minutes that they sign up, then make sure you offer them a product, because anyway, they won't be staying there. Great. Tips number 3. This is something that I love, and we're going to talk about it also in the next training. Quiz plus webinar. One of the biggest things that we have seen is that different audiences require and want different things. So sometimes you might be having a nice webinar, and the webinar might, you'll be curious about it, but sometimes you might have a webinar to help someone to become a better coach, right? And then what will happen is that a lot of people will sign up and they're not even a coach, right? And you maybe have another training for people to become a coach, not to be a better coach. Wouldn't it be great if once you sign up, you can actually tell them, this webinar is not right for you. This webinar is much better for you. Why don't you join that one? And the way in which it does it is that it gives the possibility of adding in your form, after the people sign up, a little quiz. And maybe the quiz in this case will have a question that will be something like, are you already a coach? Yes or no? If you answer yes, then go to the webinar, become a better coach. If you answer no, then go to the webinar, become a coach. So that's something that will be super important, because you're able to take the right person to the right webinar. And we've seen this over and over, and I've seen as well in different testing that these increase the value per lead by a lot. And another thing that you could do is that you can play around with the quiz and do a lot more stuff. Maybe you want to figure out what problem people are facing. So ask all of these questions in the quiz. And once you ask all of these questions, then people will be like, okay, cool. I'm now much more committed to understand how to solve this problem that I'm facing in the webinar. And you might even want to adjust your webinar based on the answer of the quiz. So that's something very, very, very important. This other one is something, when I heard it, I was like, I never thought of it, and it's one of the most interesting one. Leads are not the same, right? Different leads might require different things. So a great idea here is like, what would happen if a person that is warm, which basically means a person that already knows you and has been in your email list for a while, sign up for the webinar? And what if you will have a different experience than a person that never heard about you? And that's what it does. So when someone is warm, or maybe from Facebook, you skip the intro of the webinar and go directly to the content. When someone is cold and never heard about you, you keep the intro. So that's a very interesting one, because you put together warm and people from Facebook, even cold, and make them skip the intro. Why does that? Because it's been proven, and I've seen this also with a lot of numbers, that when someone comes from Facebook, or by Facebook I also mean Instagram, they are scrolling something, right? They're scrolling, they may be watching a reel right now, so literally 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds maximum, right? And then now they see your ads, and they're like, okay, let's go, let me check it out, let me sign up, I come to the webinar. Once you do that, like, these people are people that are on their phone most of the time, and they're like in an environment that they might not want to watch a 2-hour webinar, right? So shorten it and making go to the point instead of going to the intro might be a much better thing to make sure that the person will go till the end. On the other hand, if someone is cold but come from YouTube, he's already watching most likely a long form video. And YouTube has a lot more people that maybe are from desktop rather than mobile. Or even if they're on mobile, they're already in the mindset of watching a 10 minutes video. So if the YouTube ads come from there, then they're much more likely to see the intro, because they just want to be a bit more relaxed rather than being super engaged with shorter videos. It is true that now YouTube also had YouTube Shorts, so the behavior is changing a bit, but overall, that's something that still holds true for the different platforms. And then, other very important thing, split testing is key. I know that this is something that's not so new, but it's something that is so important. Split testing makes the entire difference. And the biggest problem on webinars is that most of the time, whenever you do a webinar and you want to split test something, let's imagine you want to split test the first 5 minutes of the video of the webinar, or you want to split test if to change a landing page, or you want to split test the title of the webinar, or you want to split test if to show a chat or not, or you want to split test anything that you want to split test inside a webinar, you basically need to duplicate the webinar. It's so annoying, right? Because you need to duplicate the entire webinar. And because if you don't, results might not hold true. You might be saying, oh, that's a better landing page conversion. But then when you go and see, did the people actually buy more or less, then this might not hold true, right? So you want to see the entire, how the entire experience change and affect throughout the entire funnel. And that to me is so important. And it's something that I always say to everyone, absolutely, guys, split test as much as possible. But again, it's problematic to split test and to duplicate everything. So there is a solution, and I'm going to give you in a couple of slides. This one was the most mind-blowing thing for me. Play your webinars on software and not on browser. So what's happening here? What does it mean? In software, Zoom is a software, right? So if you're watching this on Zoom, let's imagine right now I see that there is some people on Zoom and some people on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching this right now on Zoom, you're probably giving a lot more attention to this. Someone of you has already camera on, so they are a lot more involved in the conversation. While on other cases, someone watching on Facebook maybe is scrolling, and maybe is watching, you can even watch right now while you scroll, and is a small video there. So you are a lot less engaged in what I'm talking. And the same is with the webinar. If someone is not engaged in what you're talking about, very rarely they will buy. So always play in software. And what's interesting here is that I'm going to explain in the next slide. He actually gives you a way to download an app for your webinar to play in the app. And the user will need to download the app for the webinar. You simply tell them, oh guys, by the way, if you want to join my webinar, you need to download this app. Please download the app. And what's happening is that you see a way less distraction, a premium experience because it's much better. And this gives a higher click rate, which means that people stay much longer in the webinar than normal, and a higher value per lead, which is the most important metric in a webinar because it tells you how much revenue do you generate every lead. And that, to me, it's key. So if you're able to do that, this is important. And I would have never said that people will download software, but they run multiple tests on that, and it absolutely works. So that's interesting. And last but not the least, the last thing that I would say, and again, guys, I'm not affiliated in any way with this. I'm literally just saying because I've tried this tool, and I think it's one of the coolest things ever. This guy, Anthony Morrison, creating this tool named Webinar Fuel, and it literally solved all these problems. So he put all of these different things together, and what it does is that you can basically join it, and it's probably the most professional way to watch, to manage a webinar. Number one, you can split test everything. You remember before when I say that it's very annoying to split test the entire webinar every time you want to split test something? He has the capability to split test every single part of a webinar, and to have the perfect metrics directly inside there without you needing to do anything. Or another one, he has that capability of play your webinar in software versus playing your webinar in browser. You can also play in browser if you do it then, but you can do it on software, and he has already all the technology built up for that, so that you just need to literally put a tag on, and you can play in software and get all the benefits. So that's incredible, great features, hands down the best software I've seen in terms of webinar management. I've tried EverWebinar, I've seen Easy Webinar. they don't compare. Like Webinar Fuel to me is I had like crazy, and it's clear this is done by a marketer that knows what's needed to optimize a webinar. So biggest recommendation I can do, if you're serious on webinar, check it out. It's a bit expensive, like $199 a month, but yeah, it's amazing. Awesome. And right now we go to step number 2, which is how to build a community and how would you monetize it through a challenge. That's something very interesting. There are 2 examples that we're going to bring here. The first example is Pace Morby. And this has been one of the most mind-blowing presentation I've ever been. Like, I'll show this case study. It literally shows that this guy is crazy, because I don't think there is another way to explain that. But it also shows how craziness and how your level of commitment towards your customer can bring results that you would have never imagined. So let's take a look at that. So we'll have 2 case studies here. Case study number 1 is like, how can you create a community from scratch in 30 days from scratch and generate $5 million in revenues out of it? That's what Pace Morby did. And then another case study, I'll talk later about that, is how you can generate 497% ROAS on challenges inside your community. And both of them are incredible results, literally multi-million-dollar business that are run through a Facebook group and a challenge. And that's something that to me is just mind-blowing. It's like, shouldn't be more complex to run a multi-million-dollar business. No, they do it very simply. And you can do the same. So let's go look what they did, and let's start with Pace Morby. So if you didn't hear Pace Morby, no problem. I also didn't hear him before this session. He is the manager of a Facebook group that's named Creative Real Estate. And I suggest everyone just to go there, even if I'm not interested in real estate, but I just sign up just to see, how you can manage a Facebook group and do great stuff. And this guy built all of this from scratch. Obviously, now the group is 2-3 years old, so it's like much bigger than what I'm explaining here. But the case study I will bring is how we started the group from scratch. In 30 days, got 7,000 members and generated $5 million in the process. So 5 phases, and we'll go through all of them and go deep. But it's ideate the community. So really focus a lot on understanding, what do I want to create? Do a lot of things that don't scale. Here is the crazy part. And then grow the community, organize an event, and then monetize it. Let's go. So Ideate the Community. What it did very clearly is that in the beginning, it say to everyone, join my group and you're going to learn these specific things from who. In this specific case, is named Creative Real Estate, which basically means buying a house in creative ways. And creative ways could be buying a house, no money down, buying a house, finding different people that finance the house for you. So doing a bit of things in this way. And he's an expert of that because he's really good at it. He's been doing this forever. Probably for 10 years. He has experience. He's a millionaire already by doing that. So he has a lot of knowledge he can share. And it's like, you guys come here and you guys gonna learn that. The other thing is that he also created a very simple promise for the group. And how you create a promise for your group, he had this very simple idea that is like, okay, do things that other don't do, won't do, or cannot do. So look at all the Facebook groups that are out there in your niche, in this case, real estate, and think, what's that? What's annoying? Everyone does that. Cool. I won't do that. And it's like, no one of them does this specific. No one of them does Q&As. No one of them does this. I want to do this. And go crazy. Go crazy really thinking about, if I will need to create the best community ever, that literally Forbes will write about that, what should I do to make that happen? That's really the way in which you thought. And you will see in the next one, this guy went crazy in creating the community. So this is the key. Do things that don't scale. That's used a lot in the startup environment. Imagine it in a Facebook group community, okay? So what he did is simply say, hey guys, this is creative real estate, that's what it's about. And then people were confused. Probably a lot of you are like, what's creative real estate? And everyone was asking questions. And then he said, please ask question, I'll answer every question. What he did is that every single question, every single thing that was happening in the group, he answered with the Loom. So he started doing Loom every single day, answering every single question that was happening there. Then he opened his Calendly and he say, hey guys, if you guys have any questions or want to understand better how you can do creative real estate without selling anything, you guys can join me for a one-on-one. I'm opening my calendar 15 minutes. So you have a 15-minute slot that you can book, and then I'll teach you how you can do creative real estate. And then it was personally welcoming everyone with a video in their DMs. So whenever someone was joining the group, he would add them on Facebook, and then he will tell them, hey, Chris, thanks so much for joining the Creative Real Estate group. I'm Pace, and I'm the organizer of the group and the admin. I really want to make sure you get the most out of it. So tell me, how's it going? Do you have any question on this? Let me know what your thoughts are. But like creating such a beautiful experience, right? A human-to-human experience without thinking about what are the rules of this. And obviously going crazy, right? This takes time. And he started to focusing in such a huge way on that. And for, I think, the first 20 days of the month, he really dedicated 5-6 hours a day on this. But this was huge. He was incredibly committed to talk with people, understand what they wanted, do things that no one else would want to do, and do it in a way that everyone will just tell to the next person. It's like, dude, there is this guy that is incredible and is doing all this for free. Please, you need to join. And then, next step, grow the community. He didn't sell anything. The thing that he did is that he asked everyone that was doing a one-on-one, say, you don't need to pay me. The only thing you need to do is you need to invite 10 people in the community. I'll do a one-on-one with you. I'll do anything you want. Just invite 10 people that you think that could be interested in this and let them in. And then he was asking people, it's like, okay, you join the one-on-one, please take notes. Only thing, share the notes in the community. I want this to be open for everyone. And then he was asking if you do some deal or if you get some breakthrough or you learn something, just do a video and post it in the group. Again, all the ask that he did was bringing more people and at the same time, sharing the group, make the group a community as much as possible. And at this point, in 10 days, you already have 4K members by doing this. Like just going crazy, right? And I love that because it was like, go full in and start building that kind of community that everyone else will dream about. He said that for him, like when someone tell him you have a great Facebook group, it's like, it's better if someone tell me than someone that tell me you have a great Ferrari, right? But that's exactly, I think, it dedicated so much to that and he built such a tight community that is incredible, right? And let me also say this, I intentionally didn't wrote here Facebook group. I wrote here community, right? Facebook group, especially they get a bad branding, right? And the reality is that there are some Facebook groups that are incredible, right? And people always say, oh, but Facebook group are not cool. It's like, Facebook group can be cool if you make it cool, if you treat it as a real community. And that's what this guy did. So don't get too hung up with the concept of, oh, I don't like Facebook groups. It's like, they can be great if you focus a lot on building a community. And then what he did is that he organized an event. And he basically said, guys, every one of you want to book this 15 minutes one-on-one with me. They're all booked out, and a lot of you are DMing me. And I'm sorry, but I have a limited time in the day. I can't help everyone. What if we actually do a group one-on-one? So all together, I'll teach you all the different things. You can ask all the questions. I'll answer all the questions, but for everyone. Because a lot of time, a lot of you ask me the same question. And it's better if someone of you ask me a question and then I can answer it for everyone. Would you be in for that? Yes. And then he went in and he over-delivered. I really don't know how he did it, but he did a 16 hours long event, a live, 16 hours long. It basically started at 8 a.m. in the morning and he finished at midnight. And this guy probably didn't sleep. I don't know what he did. He got 250,000 views. So obviously at the time the group was already bigger. But what's interesting is that Facebook keep on pushing you, right? If something goes viral, it has a lot of comments and stuff. And that's what he was able to do. He was able to do an incredible work to bring so many people inside and to make them so engaged and to go viral. And that was incredible. And then at the end of this training, he say this way, I say in the live, he say, I will work with 10, in this case was investors who wants to learn creative real estate. Who is in? And then what it is that it say, if you're in, click this link. And then in this link, there was an offer. And whenever people were clicking on the offer was sold out. Okay, so here's some sort of a phase scarcity or something like that. But what happened is that he basically didn't have any offer ready, and he was just like, okay, cool, let's put together a sold out offer so that everyone wants even more about that. And then everyone in the group starts asking, oh, I tried to get in as fast as possible, but I couldn't. Who got in? Did you get in? Did you get in? Did you get in? And then no one could get in. I was like, oh my God, I'm so envious of the people that were able to get in. And that was very interesting because it created even more demand for his offer. And that was the moment in which it's like, okay, now they're ready to be monetized. And then what he did is that I apologize, a lot of you couldn't get in. I'm really sorry. So we tried to change a bit the plan of how we want to work. And what he did is that he opened the bank of his videos. So all the Loom he did, all the testimonial he did, all the things he did, he put together into what they call the bank. So sort of a maxi course of everything that's been creating. And it's like, this is something that will be available just for certain people that will join a private paid group, which is basically a mastermind on creative real estate. And if you want to join, I'll spend a lot of time there. Unfortunately, I won't be able anymore to spend all the time I spend in this group. So I'll just focus on the people that are really serious and want to invest on that and want to go deep on this. He got 10% conversion in the group. He has 6,800 people in the group, 10% conversion, so 680 sales, has 7.8K each. That's a $5.3 million launch. No ads, purely going completely organic, literally giving his heart out. He gave everything in the group, and that's huge. That's incredible because it gave so much value that then the sales just became automatically. And that's, to me, it's a great example. I must also say that you have seen that I created this group, the Course Nation, and I started engaging a lot more, and I want to do so much more on that. And the reality is that when he was talking about community, I felt like that's what I want to have for Course Creator. It was an inspiration for me to say, I want to help everyone for course creation. It's like, that's what I love. That's what I think that I can contribute. And I really want that. I really want to make sure that everyone here can ask any question, create anything. I really say to everyone that is in course creation, I want to join this group because that's the best place to learn how to impact my students through courses. And final tips, he created a phenomenal culture in the group. So he put very clear rules, and even if you go in the group, everyone is helping each other. It's a very nice group. It's a beautiful place to be there. So no assholes allowed. If someone is an asshole, remove them. Then he started organizing real meetups and say, hey guys, let's meet the creative real estate in New York, the creative real estate in Denver. And he started playing around with that. Then he started going in podcast, and instead of saying, oh, I'm the coolest one, he really started acting as a community leader, which is like, I teach community creative real estate, but this guy, Mark Anthony, was able to do this deal, and he's the best. You guys should really say this guy is one of the best creative real estate that I've ever seen. And recognizing your leader of the community empower them so much, right? And then even started going crazy. Literally, this year is doing a tour around the United States, going every single week on a different state and doing a meetup with people on the different state of the creative real estate group. So that to me is like, whoa, this guy is literally doing the tour of US to meet all the people of his group. But that's the level of commitment that he's having on the community. And guys, in the end, like, Facebook group is a channel, but community is not, right? Community is much more than a channel. And what I love about this example, what I love about him is that, he went back to human. That's the reality, right? You could do this even with an email if you would want. You could do this in a lot of different ways. But what was incredible here was the way in which he went above and beyond for his community, because that's his life mission. He wanted to help people learn that. And I think that most of all the course creators, entrepreneurs on online education have this. They want to go to the next level for their customer. And that's a great example of what they should do. Awesome. And right now we go with another interesting example of how to use something similar, Facebook group, for challenges. This is going to be much shorter because I feel that this one has a lot of similarities with the previous one, but the previous one is much better on creating community. But what's interesting is that these two people, Michelle and Jack Bosch, they are two Germans, if I remember correctly, that live in US right now, and they do a very interesting topic, which is land flipping. I'm sure a lot of you heard about house flipping. They do land flipping, and and that's pretty cool. And I think that they are pretty unique in the market. Not sure if there are so many other people doing that. What they basically did is that they created a very strong community year after year. And the community, they kept on doing very well, doing one live a week, doing different webinar a week. And then he put tons of success stories in the group. So people saying, oh, I did this, I did that, this has been amazing. They started writing a lot of great long form motivational and educational posts so that everyone could learn and go so much deeper into that. They went to a level in which whenever someone was joining the group through the challenges, they created an automation that everyone that joined the group will go into the CRM, and everyone in the CRM will have someone on their team who will help them go through the content. So that's incredible, because you're basically giving a personal concierge experience to everyone that joins a Facebook group. And that's, to me, it's key. Especially in this case, you will see in the next slide, they sell a very high ticket product, like tens of thousands of dollars. But that's the key. It's like, once you want to sell something, especially that costs a lot, you want to give them the best experience ever, literally white gloves. And that's what they do. And they do it in such a fantastic way that every single person counts. It's not about having 3 million people. They have a lot less than that. But it's about treating those ones that you have in the best way possible. And this next slide is going to be a very number-oriented slide. But it's an example from their own challenge. Can we enlarge the slide? Because this is fantastic. So in a challenge, they spent $110,000. This brought them 8,400 people that registered for the challenge, out of which 4,800 joined the Facebook group. Now, these numbers are not crazy. Like, they have a cost per lead of about $14, $15, which in their market is not bad. But what I would say is that it's definitely could be better, right? So not incredible advertiser. Let's call it like that. And then what happened is that out of the 8,400 people that joined, 2,500 attend the session every day. First day was about 3K, and then the last day was about 2K, but 2,500 in general, out of which he generated 101 sales. The average order value was about $17,000. This is because they sell different packages, and the top package that they sell is $50,000. So huge, right? And obviously, it's easy for them to sell that because it's make money business. You spend $50,000 with me, but then you're gonna make $500,000. That's how they sell it, right? And they generated a ROAS, which is a return on spend, of 497%. So if you're doing the calculation, you'll see that half of the sales were organic and the other half were paid. That is incredible, right? The concept of literally having a Facebook group as the center of your marketing, at the center of your community, and then they do run a challenge every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks, there is a new challenge. There is a new challenge. There is a new challenge. And that's beautiful, right? That's something that I always say, that a challenge is not something that you do once, something that you keep on doing, improving, and then it gets better and better. That's exactly what he did and what he's doing in such an incredible way. And this to me is a perfect example of like how community and challenges together can create a fantastic result. So kudos to them, really incredible results. And then last but not the least, 9 ways to launch your membership. This training was a training done by Stu McLaren, very great marketer, very focused on membership. I think that it touches on very important topics. And I know I spoke with someone of you that are here, and I know that you're launching a membership. So listen to this, because this is going to be pretty exciting. So yeah, first of all, before going into the ways to launch a membership, let's start with some membership myths. This is probably some of the coolest things that we can learn about membership. First myth: the more content, the better. People just want more content. False. Number one reason why people cancel a membership is overwhelming. A membership is overwhelming. I don't know what to do inside that. There is too many things. I'm not doing anything. Cancel it. Number two: a membership should always be open, just like Netflix. You know, when someone starts saying, "Oh, we are the Netflix of telephones. We are the Netflix of coaching. We are the Netflix of..." Everyone likes to say that. The reality is that Netflix is a lot more complicated. And a lot of time when you do a membership, you would like to take Netflix as an example, but probably it's not where you should start. Maybe Netflix is where you should arrive one day, maybe not. Maybe that just doesn't apply to your industry. Maybe you should think about something a bit simpler. And then the other one is that my membership offer should always be the same, just like Netflix, right? It's like, oh, $9.99 a month, just join. No, you always need to give them a reason to buy today. So these are a few things that are pretty interesting, but the concept is what we usually think about a membership is not exactly what should be. One of the point of, oh, let's give them everything, is just doesn't work. And the concept of closing a membership, sometimes it's actually very needed, because you want to create that intimacy inside the membership. And at the same time, you can always change your membership, you can spice it up, right? We saw a lot of cases last week. Someone of you was in the training when we talk about the MIFKI, or when we talk about the premiums. It's a great way to spice up your membership offer and do something different that will allow you to learn a lot more around membership and sell a lot more of your membership. But probably the things that I would add is membership and any subscription is about continuity. And every membership will work if you need to use it continuously, right? And that's the thing that a lot of people just don't understand, right? When I use my Netflix, I use it almost daily, unfortunately. I should use it less. But once my credit card didn't charge Netflix and I couldn't use it, and I just went on customer support and said, please charge me again. That's when you have a great membership, right? So my question to you for your membership is, do your customer come to you and tell you, please charge me again, right? That should be the membership that you should create. It should be something that you give continuously, and people are like, oh, I want the X of the week. or these things that should happen every month, or these things that without that I really cannot live, I want to stay there. Once you have something like that, that's a successful membership. So always think about that when you think about a membership. If you don't have that, probably you're in trouble. And that's something that you need to see, especially your retention of your membership might not be the best. So what I was saying, and I really agree with that, is that there are 3 levels of membership: launch, grow, and scale. And what it was mentioning is that whenever you're launching a membership, so having between 0 to 100 members, you should never keep it open. It's too small for it to be open for everyone to join at every time. It's better to do a launch every 2-3 months and open it for 1 week, and people can join just in that week. And on the grow phase, that's something that's debatable. Probably towards the end of it, you can open it, but in the beginning, it should be mostly closed. Then when it's on scale, then for sure you need to keep it open, and that's you can go towards the Netflix model. But most of all the membership that I see online are literally 1 or 2, right? They're not 3, unless you are masterclass.com or Mindvalley or some big players. You are on 1 or 2, and it's very important that you understand that maybe you shouldn't work like Netflix. You should work in a different way. So let's go into the 9 ways to launch a membership. First one, pretty simple and straightforward: launch funnel. So if you're familiar with Jeff Walker PLF model, the product launch formula, you do a pre-launch, doing some videos, you open the cart, make the offer, follow up for 5 days after that you made the offer, and then you close the membership. That's the simplest ways to launch a membership. It's something that it works. It's great for launching. It's not a great evergreen strategy. It's great for a launch of 1 week or 2 weeks. Definitely not something that you can take it and use it on an evergreen model. So yeah, that's a very simple way in which you can launch your membership the first time. Second one, this is something that goes a bit more evergreen, which means that you can use it over and over again. Is the secret invite funnel. So you do ads to request an invite for my webinar. Maybe we'll call it to my class, to my mastermind or something. And people arrive to a page in which they ask, would you like to get invited to see a class? And then they'll get invited, they'll go through this webinar, and in the webinar you sell the membership. That's something that he does with one of his clients, which is a very famous person that does acoustic guitar membership. And that's interesting, like a webinar that sells membership. That's very typical way to do it. Mindvalley does this as well. It works very well and is definitely a way to launch and sell your membership. Number 3, that's a very interesting one. Thank you email funnel. It's basically you sign up for a lead magnet or for whatever you sign up, you get a thank you email, and then we tell you, oh, by the way, thank you for signing up for the lead magnet. By the way, if you want to go deeper on this, we have a webinar. Would you like to join the webinar? And then from there, you sell the membership. What's interesting is that you can have 20 lead magnets and you can somehow adjust it to make them go to the webinar. So you can always do hundreds of things here, and basically every thank you email, and in most of the cases, most of all the thank you pages that you have in your company, they are dead ends, right? Someone signed up for a training, there is nothing to do there. Would you like to do something? Get on this webinar, and then you sell the membership there. Again, very simple, but look at all the thank you part of your company, and I'm sure you'll find some very great opportunity to put there some way to sell your membership. Way number 4, coaching week funnel. So obviously, if you're into coaching, there will be something like that. But if you are into something else, you could mention that, right? But this example is specifically taken from Brooke Castillo. She does a coaching week, probably she does it once every 3 months. And then she does advertising for a coaching week, which is a low price product. What's interesting about that is that she say, join me for my coaching week. You're gonna get coached for 5 days, and you're gonna improve yourself a lot in this week. And then what's happening is that it costs just $99 to join that. Oh, by the way, when you join this, you also get a 30-day free trial of my membership. That's a very interesting one, because you're like, $99 just to get coached. That's pretty cool. And then what happens is that you have a 30-day free trial of the membership. You get coached, get tons of value. The membership is super cool, so you keep on getting value, and then you don't need to buy again. You're already inside. So the only thing you need to do is not canceling. And she has a 31 to 42% conversion rate from low price to membership, meaning 31 to 42% of people that join this low price product stay in the membership. And the membership is $297 a month, right? So it's pretty expensive. But again, she does an incredible job. She make back the money on advertising straight away on the low price product. And then with this membership, keep on generating revenue over and over again. Beautiful. Number 5, that's another great way. I love these simple funnels. 48 hours funnel. So when you close your membership, what you will do is that people go on the page and you say, oh, the membership is closed. What you can do is that you can sign up for the wait list. And then the week before you open, you can simply say, send in 3 emails and say, next week we are opening the membership. So you go and create this anticipation, show testimonial of what people say, show all these things, create all this anticipation. And then you open it in the weekend, send 5 emails in today to sell. So very strong email sending. And what he's saying is that if you really want your membership to be as open as possible, you can even do this every month. You could do the first weekend of every month. You open the membership for 48 hours so that everyone can join. So your membership is closed, but then you give them always 48 hours to buy. That's interesting. One of the major things that it talks about is always give them a reason to buy today. Because the concept of membership is always about continuity. And it's always, oh yeah, I can buy next week. What's the problem? But once you close it and reopen, you cannot buy next week. You need to buy now, right? And that's a huge part. If you use a premium, like we said in the training last week, I need to buy now because the premium is available just for the next week. And that pushes people to buy and to stay and to get all the things that they need to get. So absolutely great way to do it. 6, this is not really a funnel to me. It's more like a channel, but it's basically social. So especially for people that are great on social media, do a social post with a CTA and simply send them to membership sales page, right? A lot of people do great posts, and a lot of people do carousel posts, reels, or anything, and they say, oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about this, talk about this in my membership. Or even they say, read the caption, and in the caption, they send you to the link in bio or in the stories, and from the story, they give you the link or close you in DMs. So very interesting way to do it. But again, if you're great on social media and do a lot of content, easy way to do, use your social and sell your membership. Awesome. Number 7, backend funnel. What I love about this is that literally costs $0. And what it is that you are already doing other courses in your business. So every time that you deliver a course, simply do a graduation ceremony. Celebrate the fact that people have been going through the course, have been achieving something, have been changing their life, and then always tell them, if you guys want to continue this, because this community has been so beautiful during this course, the best way to do is to join the membership and continue the fun in this other community. Same people, we're going to keep on doing this, not just for 30 days like we did for now, but for the next year. Would you like to join? So it's something that works very well. And also here, give them a follow-up via email with a deadline to buy. This is available just for the next 3 days. The more you do that, the more you're able to do it. What's the best thing is that usually the backend funnel bring you long-term members, because it allows you to get those members that already bought your course, so they're already in love with you, and they would love to stay somehow in contact with you. And once they do, they will probably stay for life. So very important. That's something that a lot of people just finish the course and they just finish it, but just, add something. Easy way to improve the average order value of everyone that join your company. And then again, this one, influencer funnel. Also, this one I feel is more of a channel. And then what happened here is that you can research influencers, you create a deal with the influencer, and then they do a social post simply saying, oh, you should join this membership because it's the best thing ever. And the cool thing of this social post is then you can take this, turn it into ads in the future. And all of these posts or ads in the future could go to a webinar that sells the membership. That's a great way. Obviously, with influencer, there is always a lot of testing. A lot of time, a campaign is not working, another campaign is not working, and then you find an influencer that, boom, skyrocket and do incredibly good. The example he was bringing here is that there is this membership named Live Richer Academy. They grew to 40,000 members with this strategy. So that's something epic, pretty good. So I absolutely suggest everyone to do it. And then the last but not the least, challenge funnel. So obvious, this very similar to the coaching week. Only difference is that in the coaching week, they give a free trial of the membership together with the challenge. In this case, you simply do it separate. You do a challenge. It's suggest to do paid, but obviously you can also do it free, and then do a sales page where you sell the membership. Another great way to go, something that definitely we've seen it working over and over again to sell membership. So absolutely, challenge funnel is another way to launch, and here is 9 ways to launch. Wow, guys, this has been, I think I need some water after this. It's been a very long training. I tried to cram up 3 different incredible sessions in 60 minutes. We did it, and I'm super happy that every one of you stick till the end. Again, the only thing that I want to say is please write in the comment below, in the Facebook post. I want you guys to even just give feedback. If you didn't like something, tell, hey Alessio, I hate your accent. Someone does it, it's fine. Or if you like something, just go in the Facebook group and say, Alessio, great training today, I loved X. It really helped to create a community feeling. The Course Nation is really the place where we want to make sure that more and more people do that. Ask any question, happy to answer any question you guys are having. I know I was speaking with Peter this week that already took some incredible action this week from the training of last week. Great job, Peter. And keep on sharing your story in the group. That's my mission here. I just want to create the best environment for everyone to learn as much as you can about courses and about how to go to the next level. So I hope, guys, that this was helpful. And if you have any question for anyone that right now is on Zoom, we can continue there. And for everyone else that's joining us on Facebook or anywhere else, thank you so much, guys. It has been wonderful. Ask your question in the comment, and we'll see each other there.